see, escape. Do I have the YouTube still? Soon?
Have a party, Danny.
Yeah, there you go. Well, yeah, gotta get Andy's right.
That's right.
Okay, I'm just about there.
Cool. I'm up. I'm on it.
Okay.
Did you get the new link, Larry?
Let me take a look.
And Alex, I sent to you too.
I did not get a link yet. Here it is. All right. I've got it on a separate wall. Separate. I've got it on a separate wall. Separate.
Oh, there it is.
Okay. I don't know how. See, watch what happens if I turn this on now. Hello. Well, that was pretty impressive. God, this is fucked up. Let's see. I don't know why you guys can't hear me. Can you hear me? Okay.
I hear you twice.
You hear me twice? Did you say you hear me twice? Okay, let's do it this way. Danny,
one on Zoom and one on YouTube.
Okay, I'm gonna mute them both. And Danny, can you send the conference call line to them?
Yeah.
The way we do the presentation. Let's just show them how we do it. Okay, Alex and Larry, we're gonna get off these audios because it may be doing it now, gets all circuitous.
I'm texting it to you guys now.
All right. Okay.
All right, I'm gonna get off Zoom.
Okay. Hello. Hi. Okay.
Thank you.
So, Larry and Alex.
There they are.
There they are.
Waiting on Larry. Nope.
Well, maybe he isn't getting it. Maybe I can call him and get him in here. Just a second.
Hey, Alex got it.
I know. I just want to get this done. Where is it? Oh,
I'm in.
there you go. That's. I'm sorry. That's. we're having trouble with the audio, Larry. You'll see that it's not synced up with the video at all, which is understandable. But there's no two-way communication if we just use the audio off the feed. Can you hear me?
Yeah, because, I hear you.
Well, let me go through it and you'll get a feel for what's happening. And there's a bug in the menu. Otherwise, the menu is working perfectly. It looks really good. Now, okay, here we go. Here's your timing. Okay? Yeah. So anything you can brainstorm to figure this out. We got this YouTube live feed. We could use the phone. We tried with Zoom, but that creates this circuitous repetition. So this is about as good as we can get in terms of responsiveness with the YouTube feed, because I can't hear back from the YouTube feed.
Yeah, no problem. Because there's such a 2-second lag, and then you have a one light there. That's your point. So whatever you talk, go to the light, goes up with you, and then the YouTube comes back to you, and you hear it again in the minute.
Right.
Is that correct?
Yes.
And then so now that sound coming from the YouTube picks up again, and then now it's together into feedback.
Yeah. So muted that, and we're just going to go with a phone call, but you'll see what the result of that is. So I'll just start going through the presentation. You guys just stop me when you want. Okay. So
Well, is our here. I don't know if we probably less resolution than me.
oh, way less.
Way less, right?
Yeah. I mean, are you looking at the YouTube feed? Let me show you.
I think they're both better than that. They're on the right side of my monitor, and I've got the on the left side of my monitor. I've got the monitor on.
Okay, well, then you can look at them, and you're saying they look basically the same, huh?
Well, it's not crazy, right? But obviously, it's a wider shot than the YouTube feed. The YouTube feed is almost filled wall to wall.
Right.
Do you have it in your settings on YouTube? Do you have it at the highest quality?
Ron set that, and I believe.
Yeah, in theory, we're supposed to set 4K to YouTube, but by the time you render this, process this, and set it out, we're seeing like your YouTube view, if you click on all of these, only goes to 1080, not 4K. We're getting back rendered 10K, that's 1080 from YouTube, even though we're setting it up to the YouTube server at 4K.
Well, now that you're looking at both of them, is there a tremendous quality difference? I would guess there is.
The problem right now is that you zoomed in on the camera that's even used. I'm only seeing one monitor.
That's all I want you to see, because look at the detail. That's how I'm showing 16K. Okay.
Okay.
So I start out back here, and I talk about the background, or 12K. It's not 16. And then I say, all right, let's go in all the way in. And there you see 16K. All right. Or 12K. I got to quit saying that. 12K. So you can see. Yep. 12. You're not seeing that.
Just seeing a detail, it's showing a detail, proving that the cheese actually 12K. Yeah, for all of it. Yeah, overall, wow. One monitor.
I know, but I'm showing the detail that we're able to accomplish by zooming in, because you can't see it wide.
But it has
Okay, let's just keep moving. I'll just get frustrated. I made a mistake. Let's not correct my mistake too many times. I just made a mistake. Okay, so I do that. So let's do this. So the next thing I do is while I'm talking, I go to this menu is killing me. All right. Okay. So while I'm talking, I do this. Okay. And here comes the tiger in. All right. That looks pretty killer, doesn't it? Should. Oh, shit. I'm doing the wrong one. You just give me a second. It's over. Normally, I would have this all set up in advance. I apologize. Shit. Ah, fuck you and excuse me. Just a second. Huh? It goes to save favorite. It's give me a second.
Is it easier if you zoom out?
Give me a second, please. I'm sorry. I don't mean to be abrupt. I'm getting very verklempt by this. This shouldn't have even wasn't an issue until we started trying to change things. Okay, so there it is. So we're in. Let me just continue through let me just get one more minute through. Okay, because the menu's breaking and there's a whole bunch of stuff going on. So background. Okay, so then we show this. All right. And then I zoom back out to say, here is a, and skip the framing. I can fix the camera. I bumped it. It'll be centered and everything. What am I saying? I don't know. Okay, this is a 8K video over 12K background. All right. What happened to my framing? You fucking piece of shit. Pardon my language. Excuse me. I'm sorry. I realize people are listening to me. It's like flipping phone. All right, here. Okay, so that is 8K over 12K. Now, I'll show you. We'll call up 12K background. And then I'll draw it on the screen for a 4K video over a 12K background. And one of the cool things about this is if you want to really get a seat right at the soccer match, you could do something like that. All right, now I gotta get the new favorites up. And it says save favorite, but it didn't. All right. Okay, so now I load this favorite. And now what we're gonna see is I'm gonna select DirecTV. Make sure we're on to, well, I can change it when I get it. Okay, I'm gonna select DirecTV. This is live. This can be a computer. This could be anything you want. One thing I was looking at last night was a live shot of New York that can permanently be fixed on it. So I think there's something in that whole live camera thing. So here we go. One of the explanations they're going to give is they're going to talk about how this is a prototype and how they're going to actually talk. The NVIDIA people are coming, so they're going to talk about the frame delay, Alex. Alex, do you want to just tell him what we figured out about these little delays? Looks pretty good, doesn't it? Can you hear me now? Just to hit the button. Can you hear me now? Jesus. Oh, okay. Sorry about that. So one of the things that is prefaced in all this presentation is to say, here's what you're looking at. And one of the things that they're going to notice is they're going to notice these little slow frame delays. And Alex, do you want to just talk about what that is? Alex? Just give the 2930.
Right now, just on for the version we have, we don't have access to the DPL, so we ordered to make sure that we always in sync. Obviously, we don't know why the network is late or something like that. We have those issues as well, but when it works, even when it works really good, there's still some time when, because we don't receive the VDL per se, we miss free. Can you describe what VDL stands for? The vertical blinking line. Okay. And on older computers, maybe even PC today, we still have it, I guess. So we had an interrupt. And we could quickly, at the time we get the interrupt, to display the next frame. With OpenGL, we don't get the interrupt. All we can do is swap cursor. What will happen at the video, but the way it works on the JetSon, the version we have, it uses the CPU to make sure that it's synced. And so once in a while, this is actual video. So it is a hardware problem on the version of that?
I think it's a hardware problem on the NVIDIA, isn't it?
Well, the video interrupt is there for sure, because it cannot really make it work without it. It's software that does not give us access. It could be because we are using OpenGL instead of going direct to the hardware. From when we talked to the guys there early on, they were saying that we could teach everything and directly use hardware, but that did sound way more complicated to do, so I tried to do that. So it may all be there, it's just a matter of the whole work on the system, everything. So the bottom line is close to the problem, right? It may not be enough, I do not know. They may need get to the new version of the hardware, better version.
Can I just ask a question? You know, we've talked about inherent redundancy or inherent obsolescence. So the card that we bought is the Xavier card. You're saying that they've come out with new ones that are completely different from what we have?
It's not completely different, but it's already much better, yes. I do not know if the video feed would be better. I think the video itself would be fairly similar to what we have now.
And basically, as I understand it, we end up across all the screens, we're sending 30 FPS and we're getting an average of 29 FPS. Is that right, Alex?
Yeah, we very often miss one frame. The way, because of that DDL
You can actually see, if you look really close, you can see it jumping.
So,
Go ahead.
the videos, when you drop video, they can all drop video at different times. Yeah. That's why we're getting this like out of this. Yeah, from time to time, yeah, it looks like something's out of sync. Well, remember what I talked about with Jetlock? Yeah, that would be the next thing as well, to also have a Jetlock. That's where we should be displaying all the frames at the same time on all the TVs. Right. Remember I talked about
Yeah, no. I tell you, don't need to remind. It's embedded in our brains. But my question is when you say, Alex, you said that awfully cavalier-like. Does this mean we could just plug in a Genlock somewhere and then everything would be fixed?
No, the Genlock would synchronize all the TVs, so all the TVs would play exactly at the same time. And that would help
Okay.
because all 9 images would be displayed at the same time.
And is that requires? I know it requires getting a Genlock box and stuff, but is that just get a Genlock box, plug them in, plug the feed in? I mean,
I do not know how you make it work with the Jetlock. Do we have 9 Jetlock? Yes. The Jet would have to have a Jetlock input or a video line input. They don't have that.
so Larry, my covering statement for this is we are creating the tools for tomorrow with the tools of today. In other words, and you know, you guys can laugh, but here's one of the things that I say we had to have these 9 4K screens in order to figure out how we're going to go to 8 and 12K and eventually, you know, one day 16K. But the current technology is not up to snuff as to what we're doing. Now, NVIDIA may develop something, or Samsung or Panasonic, depending on who I'm talking to. You may develop a chip, or our chief engineer, Larry, could make a chip in a day. That's a joke, Larry. And so basically, we're having to take current technology and make it work like future technology. And there's some bumps.
Yes, I think for any people who do electronics, like Samsung and even NVIDIA, if they want to buy that stuff, they can very easily make the Genlock work. It's not really that complicated. And we have a lot of things on the Jetson that we don't need. So it wouldn't cost them more to build the chips that we need for the system.
Larry? Well, anyone who buys this or is going to have to, I think, and I'm not going to say it right because I'm so burned out, but VPL or VBL, whatever it is, the vertical blanking, Alex has a belief that if he could have access to that now, he might be able to solve that. Is that correct, Alex?
I think it would help to maintain the frame rate.
So
So, mention that, protection for this, right?
well, here's the deal. We're going to lay out at the start. One of the things I've spent several nights with Darren Long, who ran Sky Sports. And, you know, he's been doing this kind of stuff for a long time. And one of the things he said right out of the gate is he said, do not start showing your wall without some preliminary things that Gary's going to talk about. This is a prototype. We're creating tools with tools that aren't there yet. We have, you know, we are using monitors, and you will see. In other words, set their expectations out of the gate, so they're not thinking we're competing with some video wall, because this is not a Samsung wall. This is not a Sony wall. This is not a planar proportional overlay system. This is not the lobbies that you see, which are all custom designed display technology and custom design graphics. That's not what this is. Yeah, this is going into the real world of what would you do if you're, if you need this to work. Larry?
Which begs the question. Design something we're trying to address.
The problems we're trying to address. Danny, can you read them for me? The thing I sent to Gary. Actually, you might have it, Larry, too. And you can change that, Larry, because you do have it. It's called Gary's. Okay, so those are. You feel free to edit that and say what else we need to say, and you too, Alex, because one of the things Darren said, look, what you've got here is really technologically advanced, but it looks on the surface when you first look at it like it's technologically behind. And so somehow we have to lay the foundation at the start of what it is they're seeing, right? Well, there's seams. It's just a video wall, and he's technical. So he's like, what? He stopped me and he said, Andrew, I don't see anything special about this. I'm sorry to put you down. He's very tough, but that's okay. And he said, there's nothing really special. I mean, Planar, which they do, can put up screens over video, and they can do a high resolution background. And they say they can do high resolution overlays. And then I have to say, but no, they're not doing it. They're doing proportional overlays. They're not doing. So what the problems we solve? Can somebody read them to me? I wrote it down. I can't. My mind is blank. Can you just read them? Go ahead.
Highest resolution over highest resolution. What goes in comes out. Multiple highest resolution overlays. Moving highest resolution overlay videos over highest resolution video background. Architectural features accounted for. Ray tracing allows non-standard 16:9 or 21:9 backgrounds without letterboxing. Is that really true, Alex?
Say yes, Alex. To a certain extent, yeah.
You make claims, but I want to make sure that's true.
Alex?
I did not hear all the details, but
Just the question is will ray tracing help us resolve the letterbox problem with the backgrounds? And why don't you just explain that again to all of us? I know how it works.
it would add details, but it would not fix the edges like the black and the top on left and right. That's why I wanted to make sure.
We'll see. Wait a sec. Time out. You can't mean that, Alex. I've said this to you a million. It's in our presentations.
You can either lose left and right to remove the black at the top and bottom, or vice versa. So to remove the black on the left and right, you can remove the top and bottom.
Okay, so what you would.
Red tracing helps to zoom out in and not lose quality.
Okay, there you go.
But it does not remove the black unless you are okay with losing some part of the video.
Right, but the quality is maintained through ray tracing by generating new pixels, not expanding on original pixels.
Yes, that's the idea. We have not implemented it yet.
So, Larry, you've played video games, I'm sure.
Yeah.
So in the real high-end video games, when you have a car that explodes and then it reflects off windows, but the windows are just the highest resolution, the reflections are the highest resolution. They're actually generating, using ray tracing, generating new pixels. And
Well, that could even be rendered. We're not that ray tracing will allow us to generate pixels by getting rid of black borders. So that's not true.
Well, let's put it this way. We utilize ray tracing so that we can zoom in to lose the borders, but sustain the resolution.
Well, yeah, to maintain the high resolution possible. Right?
Alex, do you want to jump in on this?
Yeah, to make it look more like in a theater rather than the usual quality that you get on the computer.
Where this came from, Larry, and you may not remember, is we were talking about how we get the background clean without black boxing. And so one of the things that came up was, and the first thing I said a long time ago was, well, I used to, as a kid, go over to my neighbor's house and they would, project their Australia trip on a white wall in their backyard. And it was crystal clear. And then the discussion then moved to the current IMAX theaters, which have 22 different lenses. So the concept of ray tracing is to create different lenses to sustain the quality. Uh-oh. Okay, Alex. Okay, no, I appreciate it. I can tell by, I know your noises. I know you didn't get it. Alex, do you want to jump in on this?
Personally, I understand that it is inside our
Patent.
but we could just not talk about it. That way, we don't open a can of worms with that claim because we don't have a proof yet about that thing.
Well, could we say we're experimenting with we put in our patent, we're experimenting with a concept?
Yeah, we could say something like that, but it's the same thing. They're going to ask many questions. What is this? How is that? Blah, blah, blah.
What do you think, Larry? Should we drop it?
I don't want to make both things get it just focus on the whole kind of world.
Okay.
They're going to start asking questions. If it's a popular movie where I think you're just going to do it, and then some guys that like things from a visual from a from a security camera from miles away. No, we can't do that. That's all. See what I mean? I just want to make sure you don't have a kind of worms, and then the teachers ask where they can ask more questions because they don't understand. It's like what I'm doing right now with you, right? I'm trying to ask each question or maybe bold statements or bold.
Okay.
Yes. You open that up.
Okay, Larry, are you looking at this list that Danny was reading?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, can you edit? So cross that out. We won't even bring it up.
You should not bring up race.
Yeah, and just restructure any of the information that you thinks needs to be there before I start presenting.
What we can just say is, we're using interpolation techniques to maintain the highest resolution possible whenever we're trying to, what are we trying to do? How we're trying to fill in mixing the pixels, or we're trying to render the pixels, or we're trying to.
Alex?
No, it would just need to increase the quality when we resize something bigger. Resize, okay. So we're resizing these videos to fill the screen for it. Yes. So you have a 4K video and you want to print on your 12K wall. Right. Then we can say, like I said, we use the interpolation technique.
Well, since we promoted it, can we say interpolation techniques, including things like ray tracing? Or does that open it? Okay. Well, look, let's leave that with you. This is I can just tell you, this is processing in your brain. So let me get through this, and
Well,
you.
I would say we'll have to go and take a photo because I was told what we're trying to get at. But I just don't think it's going to be the full play, like,
Okay.
circulating pixels.
Okay. I agree. So I'm going to leave it to you guys. But if you can do that, Larry, as soon as you can, then Alex can take a look at it because I have to train Gary on what to say.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I always crank when we meet with place, that's why.
No, I think this is good. This is excellent. This is exactly why we're doing this. And I think,
Now we're trying, you know, we're showcasing this thing in front of people that are in the know.
right.
We want to make sure that we don't make overly bold questions or claims that all the stuff we look at from Wikipedia.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Okay. So you're going to restructure this intro part, right?
Yeah. Like freaking hundreds of stuff. What date are you looking at? What date are you looking at? Or time? From 8:04 this morning, Gary responded to it, saying Gary's intro. Oh, that's my time. It's 6:04 for you. Oh, so what title of the Gary's intro? Gary's intro. Oh, here it is. 4:51 this morning, Gary's intro.
Who's working at that time?
I didn't know. It's today at 4:51 a.m.
That's me.
Yeah.
I've been, we're trying to get. There's a whole sales effort going on and a whole bunch of other stuff. So I just have to work a lot.
You mentioned entries here at all of these things. The problem is we have stock car. Okay. Multiple houses overlays, first has some video overlays, different has background architecture, about 4 weeks. Ray tracing allows content. This is that last bullet point.
That you're going to rewrite.
Yeah. Boy, that is the ray tracing allows content by either full or that background without the other box. Wow.
That's what happens, Larry, when you let a sales type person like me write something like that. That's why we're looking at it now, so you can correct me.
You could just add a theoretically in front of it.
I don't like the word. I never like to use it theoretically. One of the things we're looking at is interpolation using things like ray tracing. Oh, okay. Okay. Well, now let me ask you that. Doesn't ray tracing literally make pixels out of an original video? It just copies them.
Yes, but it's often computed from what they call a texture, and it's going to be bigger on the screen, and yet not look pixelated. Yeah, but what we're trying to explain here is without other blocks. Well, what are we doing? Are we building pixels out of nothing? We're doing those block boxes.
Let's leave it here. You're gonna fix that sentence.
Yeah, like I said, you would zoom in and remove the black. Yeah, and the zoom in would be done with the ray tracing, which allows us to not lose quality. So it still looks like every pixel was defined in the original. So can we do something like this?
Theoretically.
Pixels at scale.
Background. This is background.
Sublimation techniques such as ray tracing to improve the picture and the quality of the picture. I want to get rid of this thing about backgrounds without background.
Okay.
Get rid of that.
Get rid of it.
So
Not over. This has nothing to do with overlays. This is only the background.
Only the background. Only the background. Only the background. So only the background.
Because the overlays are their own high resolution, and if you want to make them bigger than the screen, then it's going to go be bigger than the screen. That I don't. Yeah, it's just the backgrounds.
What did he do the size background? We can still on our by night
Well,
wall.
so for instance,
Background.
if you go into a non-standard, if you look at a non-standard wall, right, a 9 by 16, 21 by 9, a non-standard wall, the only way it's done now is to create custom graphics. For instance, the foyers where we've seen, the Apple stores where we've seen, everything's customized. Okay? So it's not real world use. It's sort of a fictitious creative, very creative, but it's not real world. And we're talking about real world solutions.
Okay, so that means that for us to take real background, try to fit it on a mass standard application, we basically have to scale or window out the area of interest display on our wall, right?
Well, I think, Alex, aren't we just expanding as though we would, but in order to sustain the quality and not have it pixelized when we expand it? That was the concept of these extra lenses, these virtual movie lenses.
Just theater projector lenses. We would do ray tracing like in a theater. They play the movie through the lenses, and that feels really big on the screen. Much better quality than on computer monitors, where when you try to make it big, your monitors, you lose way more quality. I was actually using optics, right? It isn't expanding. You know, a projectile lens, all it does is expand the incoming light rays to a bigger image. It's not rendering or anything, it's just optics. It's magnifying, right? Yeah, and that's what ray tracing is about. Calculating the light beam and see where they go. Okay, but what does that have to do with our background? I guess I don't understand that. So we can zoom in and not lose as much quality with regular. Okay, so let's want to do that with a background, try to make it fit on a non-standard wall with is we need to zoom the image in or out so we can fill in our wall. Correct?
Yeah, go ahead.
Using percolation technique similar to ray tracing to make sure that the quality of the pixels are at the highest quality possible, right? Okay, so we're not building pixels that aren't there. We're not trying to produce pixels in black regions that don't exist. No, I am not trying to do that.
We, Alex, we're a team.
Yeah, but see the statement that we have on this bullet point make it seem that way.
But you're correcting that, so let's not keep going beating that horse. It's already dead. Yeah. Okay.
Let's just say this. I don't even know why you say it, really.
Well, we need to, Larry, I'm embarrassed to say this, but we need to kind of cover our ass and scale back what we've been saying about ray tracing then. And just say, this is I think you said it really good. We're using interpolation so that you can zoom in and sustain quality. Things like ray tracing.
Okay. Yeah. So whenever we manipulate the background to a non-standard aspect ratio wall, we use advanced interpolation techniques similar to ray
Excellent. Did you write that down?
I was hoping someone was gonna write that down, come up, in my brain.
Okay, everybody stop talking. Let's try to hold on to this thought. Anybody can write it down as fast. Say it one more time. Danny, are you still here? He's really good.
All right, so let me think about it again.
God, that was a perfect sentence. That was a perfect sentence.
Yeah, so I'll try to write it down. Okay, so
Well, how about this? It's in your brain. So, because Alex is trying to do some major debugging on stuff, and it's in your brain. What can you just make a note that you're going to come back to that when you're ready? Write it up, send it to Alex, and can we do that?
you know what's gonna come to me? Sometimes they like to work with that.
It's just
That's what I
yeah, or
just relax.
or wake up in the middle of the night. This is what I do.
Yeah. A lot of times this is what happens there. In the middle of the night, you wake up.
Well, you just made a brilliant statement, and so I know it's in your brain. It'll come back. All right, let's keep rolling with our present. Okay, so that is a all right. So that is a phone video that you can take and put into the system, and just a sec. I'm having a little trouble with this menu. Okay, there it is. All right. Okay, yeah, and a correction. All right, and Alex, I assume you're watching this and you're seeing what's happening with this menu. If I do have to go back to refresh favorites, it goes to save favorites, so I have to keep my eye on it. And of course, we know this icon's wrong, but let's just, and this is one of the more important ones, but it'll be fixed. So we're going to have the video you're about to see. You'll see down here in the lower right-hand corner a video. I'm just going to set something up here really quick to show you what Alex is doing. Alex, do you have enough to do? I'm going to put one over there. Let's just. Okay, so Alex is going to put a basketball game over here. We're trying to show that you can have multiple screens. And, okay, so it'll come up with that. Skip this down here. Then I will be able to go, oops, that was my bad. Overlay. And I'm going to put now, be nice if it stayed on the one that it's on when it goes away, Alex, rather than keep coming back to a broken thing. But I know we're working on that. All right. So then I'm going to put a live thing here. That's what happens, Alex, when that thing goes back and forth. It doesn't give you what you want. Just a sec. But we're getting that. We're getting there. All right. Let me just go to overlays. Sarah. It isn't this rough. It wasn't this rough. And as soon as we get these bugs out, it's just that if you look at this menu, see ZZZ, color bars, I get lost.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Okay. Well, things like that are always happening for me when I'm trying to use it. So I'm going to go to overlays. All right. And I'm going to clear the overlays. Okay. And he's going to say you missed the button. So it'll clear it.
Lower.
Yeah, I know. I'm really tired, Alex. I'm so sorry. I can do this much better. Then we have. See, God, this is frustrating. It can't just default to the wrong thing. That's one of the things that's killing me here. Is it defaults to the wrong things. What am I doing? So, all right. So then I draw, and this should be a basketball game. Of course, it's a commercial. And we have to do this pretty quick because they, after about 30 seconds, they'll stop the feed and say, you can't do that. It's against the rules. All right, so I do 3 videos. And since nothing saves, okay. Okay, so basically the purpose of this one is to do 3 videos. If anybody has a clever reason to explain, and Alex knows why, but when I put this up, that one goes white. But I guess that's just the way it works now. So when I'm done, so basically I can do much better at this. Don't worry about that. Basically, so you have 3 screens, right? So that's the purpose of what this is to show, and it's all sports stuff. All right, let me go to load the favorite. All right, now the other thing, and this is Darren said, this will have the Defense Department eyes popping. Okay. And okay, so we have an 8K video. I'm going to draw on another 8K video, and I'm able to manipulate it. So he said, if the Defense Department they don't have anything like this. It's proportional. That's all they have is planar type video. Okay? But he said if they could have high resolution windows, and be able to move them around. Obviously, more windows, obviously that kind of stuff. This is just a concept, okay, that shows that you can move high resolution over high resolution. That's the sole purpose of that particular thing. And then the other stuff I'm just going to leave for now because there's nothing that you guys need to see. So basically, I walk it through. The issues we're having is the menu. Alex is fixing that. And really, you're going to rewrite the summary so it's correct, Larry. And then if you have any brainstorm about what we should do for audio, the only thing I can think of is just kill the audio at the wall because it doesn't work. I mean, everything's out of, and kill the audio on the wall, which isn't very fun. And then use the phone. That's the only thing I can do because even though this is delayed, it's still, you can still see what's going on, right? It isn't too obnoxious, is it?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
It's fine.
Okay. Well, does anybody have any input? Larry, Danny, Alex.
No input right now.
Okay.
Larry, you got everything you need from me about the wall?
I mean, I kind of expected what initially set up with the wiring for the full structures. It's really not much different. Just where these sets are located, behind the wall, the panels themselves, or down the cabinet somewhere. Yeah, it's pretty straightforward.
Okay, so let me give you an example question, Larry, that will be maybe asked.
Okay.
Now, you guys got the schedule, right? Alex, you and Larry got the schedule for the presentations, right?
I saw some times and stuff like that. Yeah.
Okay. So those are the times we would need you guys to be available, and you'll be on the phone and the YouTube with the client.
Yeah, those are actual client times already started to get good.
Yes, we have, and probably we'll have 2 more, Amazon and a Samsung person if he goes.
Do you know the title of that? There's just so many emails going back and forth, text back. Where is that?
Let me see if let me get on my computer. Okay, so here's what I think I should do because we've been in production and too many emails have been going back and forth. So one more time,
Here it is.
yeah, but one more time, I'm going to put this out and label it. Presentation schedule. Okay?
Yeah.
It's just we got in the process of back and forth so much, it's very confusing. And then we'll also relabel the Gary's intro when you're done with it.
Yep, yep. We'll get back to this today. 424. We got an NVIDIA. There's a target competition tool. And
Mhm.
then 25th tool. Darren Long and Panasonic. But
Yeah.
Darren Long is your buddy, baby.
He's my buddy, but he's a pretty fucking tough cookie. And here's the deal: that presentation, that would give us the defense people. Okay, he will bring the defense people over to see this presentation if he approves it. But with the caveat that we are able to present it in a proper way by not just saying, "Oh, look at our great video wall." You know, that's why all these points are so important and to preface. Okay, and
Yeah.
just
So I just think that the defense department is going to use it with the satellite pictures and they're going to use a bird like this.
well, yeah, well, they would use their satellite pictures at the highest resolution. Now, look, they can't do this with our system, right? But if they're going to put $1 million up or $3 million up to get whatever they need, or 5 million or whatever they fucking need, then
The defense department would throw whatever they want.
yeah. I mean, it's just, at that point, that's a good problem that we'll have to discuss.
Yeah, because I don't see them producing it.
No. They would make a deal with us, and we would, you and I have talked about this and what the cost would be, and that that it's expensive. So, but we've already discussed with Gary and I and Dan discussed that we're not going to put any costs on future development. Because we don't know what people want, and that's why we're putting this out there now, because we want to see who's going to do this. Is it going to be an NVIDIA? Is it going to be a Panasonic or LG or Samsung? Is it going to be the Defense Department? Who's going to come in for this? Okay. All right. Well, listen, guys, I appreciate all your hard work, and Larry, I'll look forward to seeing that. But Larry, I just want to say this so you can hear this. Danny and Alex and Ron have just busted their ass, and I think it looks pretty damn good.
Yep.
Okay.
I definitely kudos to those guys. That's a lot of hard work to keep it up.
Yep. And Larry, so this is a much better picture than the Zoom, right? Was.
Yeah. Maybe, yeah, frame the I would say it's better. Sure.
Well, yeah, and
But yeah,
Darren said the highest resolution you can, because that's the whole game you're selling here. And he added the zoom into the tree. At the start, remember when I had the forest wide and I zoom right into the tree so you can see the details?
Yeah.
He said that simulates if someone was walking up to the wall.
Yeah.
So that's why that's there. Okay, guys, listen, everybody's doing great. We could have some real positive things happen within the next week after all these years of work. So thank you so much. And let's do it. And Alex, go for it. Okay. Okay. Thank you. Bye-bye. Hey, before I tear this stuff down, do you need to see anything more? Do you need me to zoom in so you can see what's happening with this interface?
No, I haven't. It just understands.
Okay. And what really catches me is you have to refresh, you have to go to another background, and then when you hit load favorites, it goes to save favorites. And so there's so many steps in there that it's just mind-boggling. Okay, but if you have an idea, okay, yeah, I just wanted to know if you needed me to do any more. Okay. Okay. Good job. Thank you so much. Bye. Whew. Because they'll start freaking out.